Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar today with JTrader. Today's Wednesday, so JTrader is a stocks trader. He will be trading live. This is part of the education you get with Bookmap. Tomorrow we have Scott Pulcini, futures trader. He will be trading live as well. We do need to go through the risk disclosures here so you know exactly what you're getting involved with. Hold on just a moment here. Let me get to JTrader. There he is. Okay. Yeah, he will be trading live here. You guys know who JTrader is. He's been on here for a number of years now on Wednesdays. Let's just go through his contact information here. He does offer mentorship, so you can reach out to him. And let's go through the disclosures here. This is important, so please take a listen. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode, and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So please know what you're getting involved with here. This is not a trading room. This is for educational purposes only. It's part of our educational process. We have the educational course. We have the live forward-looking analysis every day. And then we also have these two live trading webinars here as well, with JTrader for stocks and Scott Pulcini for futures. Okay, let's jump in. JTrader he always comes in a little late. He's finishing up his room, so he'll be in shortly. But we always start off with the S&P and just kind of go through the markets in general before jumping into stocks. So that's good. It gives us a good overview of what's going on in here. Well, let's take a look here. What do we see? All right, so in fact, I'm going to take the point of control and VWAP, these lines, off of the chart here for now, just so we can look at a simple chart. All right. Okay, so well, we can see the 930 cash open. Nice bullish move to the upside here, above the range here. All right, so buyers taking control immediately here in the cash session, moving it up into this 3930 area here. It blew through. Now you can see the liquidity here at 20. This was kind of important because that's the top of the range basically. Trade into it and through it, and now we're getting some back and forth in here. Deep pullback here to about 15, and then back up into this kind of big range up here. All right, so there's going to see some stops in there. We see it here. You can see that in this move to the downside. Now, as we've been covering here, we've been talking a lot about market structure, and we're going to continue to do that. This will set a really good foundation. Now, you know, our educational course goes through it as well, but we're going to be looking at higher time frames in here. I think that's starting to resonate with people better than you know, the educational course is spot on. We're just looking at lower time frames and then extrapolating out that data from you know, very small micro structural areas into much higher areas and time frames. It is no different. Like this breakout here from this structure into, and a pretty strong breakout into another structure. Anyway, then we look at the how that structure broke and who's in control in that structure. Okay, so well, what do you guys think? We've been covering this quite a bit. So you know, look at the buyers here that broke out on some pretty strong volume here to the upside. All right, so let's just go through the process here. In fact, we'll just take volume off here for now, and we'll take the heat map off as well. And we're just going to look at structure. I'll clear drawings, and then let's add our structure. Okay, so first off, we have this consolidation period and the strong breakout. Okay, now we don't know that right now. We just see the price movement, but we don't know the volume in here. That's when we'll put this together. But in fact, there's another little structure in here. And then you can see how fractal this is, because if you really look at it, there's another one in here. And then the break. And if you really zoom in, you'll probably see another one in there, and which is kind of like it's just a pause. It's like a flag pattern. You know, kind of a strong move, a little bit of not a pullback, but just a pause, and then another strong move. All right, so now these strong moves created a structure up into here, okay, which is still active. This was a quick move. Now, this is where, you know, these little areas, you might kind of look at them and just say, oh, that's meaningless. They're not. This is why. Look at the pullback here to that structural area. All right, so buyers still in control. Now, we've been talking about who's in control. Okay, well, we know just because of the structure, buyers are in control. But let's take a look at the context here, the second element on the Bookmap chart, which is volume. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, now we can clearly see this context of who's in control. All right, so strong move. Look at all this buying in here, which didn't really move the market. It was pretty volatile in here, just back and forth and back and forth. And then finally the break, and a strong one. Okay, so and now a strong pullback actually here too, but right back up into it. Okay, now we'll go through the structure, what we see up here as well right now, because it's actually looking pretty decent if we get enough sellers in here to try to drop it down here. But this is where you get that third context in Bookmap. Okay, to understand this context is what about the other side of the trade? This, we see the sellers sell into this area here, but what's here on the other side? And that's where we want to take a look at the heat map. Not trading, we want to look at the heat map. There it is. Okay, so, and then let's zoom in here, because I can see high liquidity here, and we're going to get this other context. Okay, the other context is this. Well, there's high liquidity in here, and did they stay in the book and trade? No, they actually pulled. Okay, so interesting move here, and here's the strong volume to the downside. Now that's a stop run in there. Okay, now let's just take a look at this though. This is really, we talked about this as traps yesterday, and we need to understand this move in here, all right, to give us some insight to what might happen. Okay, it's kind of the bottom of the bigger structure here, the bottom of the range here. And let's just edit this. Okay, it kind of broke it slightly. Okay, I'm going off of this swing here and also this little swing here. Okay, it kind of broke it slightly, and then it came back up into the range. All right, so it was looking pretty decent for maybe potentially sellers to come back down into this liquidity here. Okay, and retest this area here. We'll talk more about that in just a second, but what we're looking at here is a trap, and you can see we came back up to the top of the range up here, and maybe we can get up here as well. It's not looking good at the moment, but we talked about traps yesterday. Very simple traps here. Okay, this is a breakdown from that structure, right? Okay, right in here. This is where we can start to draw these up. All right, so what was the context down here? We see a little bit of selling here, but nice selling in here. And look where the buyers took it away, right up above it here. All right, so above that selling in here. And they traded it back to the other side of the range here. All right, so now we're seeing those sellers come in again. All right, now if that's going to be a trap, then this is the area right here. It's basically the same area. Okay, maybe a little bit lower, maybe around 17 here. Okay, so let's take a look at that. This would be our trap. All right, now we don't know that yet. If we come back down here and see sellers, we're going to break it probably. Most likely we're going to break it, and we're looking for the move back down to bottom of the range first here, okay, at 12. Yeah, and we can even come, that would be a nice one right there. You see high liquidity at 10 here, and we may even come back down to about this 08 here. Okay, just by reading structure and volume and also liquidity in here. All right, so let's see here. Pretty strong buying, bringing it right back up to where it dropped from here. Let's see here. Joseph should be coming in pretty soon. Let's just take a look. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Bert. Let's go, Daniel. Okay, yeah. So anyway, guys, like we're talking again about kind of structure and identifying who's in control in certain areas in here, it basically still no matter like well, on this time frame from the open here, buyers are still in control. Okay, there's no question about that. The structure though is getting up above here is looking kind of weak in here. Here's where we see it on a smaller level. Sellers in control. Lower high. Okay, here's our high is up here. Okay, here's our lower high. Sellers in control. Okay, lower high. Sellers in control. Lower high, and again, sellers in control. Okay, so, and these are just pullbacks in here right now. All right, so we want to see if maybe we can come back down into this kind of 12 area here. And yeah, we're looking for it here. All right, let's see if we can break it here on some selling. I do not see sellers in here right now. Not looking too good. Right, we want to see we don't want to see buyers here like this, nor buyers in here. We want to see stronger selling in here. They got to come in here. They got to come in at 14.5 and push it here. All right, sellers, you got it. Let's see it. Let's see if we can get not only to 12.5, but I want to see 10. Okay, what was the cash open was somewhere around here, 08, right? Okay, so there's our 12. It's already traded through 12, and we're just about at 10. Nice stop run there. We would assume that. Guys, that was kind of a complex process there, and I'm trying to do it quickly because I know Joseph will jump in here. Oh, there he is. He's already in. Okay, good morning, Joseph. So anyway, we're looking for that quick move into 10, and I just went through a lot of stuff really quickly in here, talking about different structures, who's in control, and then looking on the back side of this, who's in control, and looking for them to test these buyers in these areas in here. Okay, so the move more or less took place. We came a little shy of our we came down to, well, it came down to one tick away actually. 11 traded at 39.10 1/4, but that was the concept here. Now look, I wanted to see it trade into this 10 liquidity, and it just didn't quite get there, but that was the concept and the idea here. By reading the structure, the volume in the structure, and then also the order book within the structure. Where is that liquidity? Who's on the other side of the trade, etc. Joseph, I don't know if you're speaking. I cannot hear you. I see you just put in a bunch of charts. Okay, so these are trades that you took today. Okay, great. Whenever you're ready, Joseph. Okay, so I guess still kind of waiting for Joseph, which is fine. All right, guys. We'll take a look here. I mean, again, like look at these areas in here now. Even at 10, there's still an argument here. I mean, there's not an argument. It's clear. Buyers are still in control from this move. Okay. So this breakdown here has turned into a trap, right? So recognize these structures in here. Recognize these traps. It happens again and again and again. This is the selling in here. This is the buying back up above it. Okay, if you can't see, I mean, I think it's visually clear in Bookmap and what it shows here. You can see this transition take place, and you can see the buyers back up above here. So now we're looking for them to take it back up to maybe here, 23, maybe back up to 25, right? So we're back up into the range in here, again, these aren't trade recommendations. We're just talking about structure. Okay, so let's see. Are they going to buy off of this here? Are they going to support it here? Okay, or are they going to pull all the way back to here at 14.5? But we're back up in the range here, and we see some buyers come in here. Right, so we're looking for them to take it back up into these areas here. All right, this is a false, or this is our breakdown and the trap and the move back up. Okay, Joseph. Joseph is having some mic problems. He is working on it. In the meantime, I'll do my song and dance here, Joseph, and stick with our move back up higher here. Okay, now, again, these aren't trade recommendations. We haven't talked about trade management, account management, any of those things. These are order flow ideas, and look at these things, go back and study them. And then how you want to manage them. What is the time frame you're trading? How many contracts can you trade, or how many shares, or whatever? This is really kind of key to understand. Then you need to wrap that around your strategy. Okay, and that's how you're going to first find that edge, and then wrap your trading strategy around it. Joseph is an expert at it, so he has many.
Hello, traders.
There you are.
Okay, so thank you for waiting me.
Yeah,
How are you, Bruce?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. It was a good morning. So we're gonna start right away over here with, can you see my monitor?
Yeah, hold on a minute here. Let me get to that. And pop it out. And project it. Yes, we see it.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, traders, for being over here. This morning we had several plays in the small cap land. As you know, I trade futures, crypto, big caps and small caps, but the plays that we had this morning, small caps, were pretty simple. Big caps still have to find the direction this morning. I was looking at ES, first main dip, bounce. Then seems like we are holding the support 3,900. So I started focusing on BIVI, which was a main favorite this morning. And I also over here want to share. There we are. I even wrote this for you guys. That's the reason why I shorted. So we started shorting over here. I posted some charts of the team this morning so that you can understand the process on BIVI. So this is a small cap company. This company, let me see over here, the stats. So this company, it's a micro float. Came out with the news over here of top line results. Basically, it's a phase 2 clinical trial. This stock never traded high volume days. So we don't have, a stock with a lot of baggies. Also, the float is a micro float, as we said, so less than 3 millions. The company has no revenues. The company has cash for less than 12 months. We have also dilution. We're talking about a big ATM and shelf. And the play this morning was exactly a soak. So this morning, I posted this. I share also on the stock room what and why we took this. So now we can cover it. We were looking at this 480. And this is the plan of 480. Why 480? Well, you can go back over here on the daily chart. And we are looking exactly at this point of interest and this point of interest. So two main resistance levels. Over here, we can see that we topped. Over here, we topped, and then we started like to fail. So this morning, once we had this push 480, we can see a rejection. This is a beautiful starter for a trade, okay? Then over here, we can see the price started to find a resistance into this 460 area, which is all this big selling pressure that we have. So the price stalled into this 460 area around 8 o'clock. So around this time, more over here 8:10, more over here 8:30. What does it mean? That every single time we are having pops into this 460, I could really see it on the tape, was so clear. You can see over here was pushing, and then right away sellers were jumping in. And then again, they were trying to push, sellers were joining in. Once it started at 9:30, it simply dried. No more buyers, volume dried up, only sellers. You can see over here also, I believe this was a nice sweep. Breakdown of the $4 area, key area, wash. Another breakdown over here of the 390, 385 wash. And it continued this till our 350. And this 350 is the main target. So I cover everything over here into the 350. My average this morning was around 470, so we took $1.20 per share. Not a bad trade. Explain the full process on this, and one trade like this per day is just what you need to do. The point is, we had other two main setups like this, so you took them all. BIVI, I won't really look now for any more short or long, so we have to simply wait. We had CDU, and again, Bookmap was the timing. I want to go over here 1 second, and let me see if I can find. Look for this 1 second.
Scusa Joseph, vado a prendere un caffè.
Okay, of course. I'm over here, Bruce.
Torno
No
subito.
problem. Beautiful, beautiful Italian.
Grazie, grazie. Ok, ciao.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Italian. I love that. So there we are. Okay, I found it. So what I was looking on CDU was a short into the highs. Why this? Okay, remember this stock traded heavy volume in the past. So we're talking about a stock that traded even days with more than 100 million volume. A stock that for the last times we had 3 main gappers and 2 times closed green on the day. So it's not, the usual simple fader. Over here, I was looking at the stats of the company. We had over here news. CDU Space executes multiple launch agreement with SpaceX. This is a pretty common news for them. So I went to see the previous news that we had about this company, and I also look how it behaved on those gap days. So if I go to check over here the gap stats, we see that we had 3 times gaps, and I'm calculating over here gaps above 30% in the last 3 years with at least 5 million volume traded. And average I have daytime was 1202, and we had an extension average about 37% and an unwind of an average 15%. Average of range $2. But the point is, this stock gave me a blow up at the gate. So I'm not in this stock huge. I showed over here, this area. I was waiting this morning the 426 to load the boat because I was looking to short into this daily level. Once we had the main first over here push, you can see the push into this high liquidity area, they started really to fade all the way down. We can look at, for example, this is a good way to trade CDU from one of my members. You can see over here the good timing of also over here the execution. So looking for the main push and then unwind. And this unwind came, you can see, with this big selling pressure. Again, big selling pressure. So every single time on this stock, we are breaking a support. So here, here, here. Here, it simply dumped really huge. You can see over here all these main sellers, okay? The gray dots over here are main sellers. So these are the main faders that like to trade during the morning. Now what I'm looking for is, I'm going to put this over here, is a possible recycle level to reshort if we have a push spike to 360 area. We have a main support 320. We're going to look for the last target, $293. So we can continue to look at this tape and the order flow over here. Then we're going to also talk about IMRA. So this was a good pattern. You can see exactly over here. Exhaustion into heat map. But for now, let's stay on CDU. The main target I'm watching for this is around 350.
Joseph, on that, that's a really just beautiful move.
You see those main sellers, Bruce, are so beautiful. This is the correct way to trade it from my friend, also moderator over here. So you can see the first starting of the sell over here, but then once we break this 398, this is the main level of distribution support pattern over here, starts washing. And this was really fast. In about 10 minutes over here, we faded like 70 cents, 80 cents. Not a bad feel, really, not a bad feel. So pretty easy morning looking at these setups. Everything that we saw was a good short.
I'm just curious. I mean, like, I see that he's exiting at those areas on the way down, which is good. I mean, it reduces your risk. I
It's
mean,
killing out. Yeah,
it's
it's killing out over here. Yes, of
it's
course.
excellent. I'm just wondering, like, because you catch these moves all the time. Do you also scale in to those moves?
Well, it's I would say there are two different ways to trade. One way is, like more like scalping like this, or and more like recycling, like, as in the chart that we've seen. And another way is more like this, like one hit, put your stop, and looking for the fill. I would say that, especially when you trade small caps, when we have high volume, it's good to scale in because often, and I'm telling you by stats, Bruce, we can hold certain levels and then this can push back up.
Right.
So of course, if we don't scale out, at certain levels to take profit, sometimes we can take a beautiful trade and then, we can give back everything and get back to break even or even with a loss.
Right.
So I made a strategy where I have preset calculated by stats average of targets. So I know that we will hit this target for a certain amount of times. More targets over here that I'm not having on this chart, but that I have on my brokers, that we will hit by several set percent of time, so that I know exactly what I'm trading. I made also back test with my friend Chris Ari, and we back tested all the gaps that we had in the month of August, all the gaps, Bruce. And I'm not talking about stocks that are opening and extending without a gap at least of 20%, not 25, 20%. But all these gaps are above 20%. 75% of them, actually was 74.70. In the month of August, they closed right on the day with an average extension at the gate of less than 10%. So Bruce, knowing this, knowing that 3 stocks out of 4 will close below the open with a maximum extension of a 10%. So we're talking about the $4, maximum this will go for 40. Of course, there's an average. So it could be, it goes 15% or 5%. And it closed right on the day. We have an edge to look for possible shorts. Also, we have to know that in certain scenarios, if we hold certain specific levels on the fail, we can simply bounce and not have any more that fail. That's the reason why I like to scale out at precise levels for a precise amount of shares, which is part of my risk management.
That's just music to our ears, Joseph. That's excellent. You have your data from all of your over the years and your strategies and moving averages and pullbacks to moving averages, and now you have quantifiable data that fits into the picture as well. I'm just kind of curious. I have to bring it up, and then what you at that point, then you look at Bookmap. That's where you're going to get, okay, now they are moving in that direction. And that's where you're going to get the edge. So you have your bigger picture edge, but you don't know when it's going to happen. And then you look at the order flow to give you the edge on when that's going to unfold. I'm just kind of curious about some of the data in there. Like, it's a bigger discussion. However, worthy, I think maybe another time. I don't know about. Okay, what small cap stocks? What's
Look
their
over here, Bruce,
what's
for example,
their float?
this one, 74% close below the open.
But these are
This
all
in a month.
gappers. These are all gappers, though, right?
These are all gappers above 20%
Okay,
with at least 2 million volume traded.
got you. Okay, and then
So it's a pretty good edge.
are they SSRs as well? It includes everything.
SSRs as well.
Okay.
What is the main point? I'm not really here, traders. If you know me, I'm always honest. I always say what I think. I'm not here to tell you take Bookmap or buy Bookmap. I'm not that type of person. If you want to do it, if you don't want, just follow what I'm telling. But this morning, you can ask it. All my members in the room, 3 out of the 4 trades we took on Bookmap, we had the plan, but the timing was all time with Bookmap, every single time. This is the has that I had. I called this trade over here. Exactly this trade. I saw the resistance 175. My system told me 175, 180 had a level to trade. We showed at 171 with timestamps and everything. We saw 165 support bouncing. We stopped in the money. I didn't take the second one over here. I missed. Totally honest with you. But this is the setup that is in our playbook. And when it came, just when I saw the heavy, when we see the heavy sellers over here on Bookmap, CDU, BIVI, IMRA, all giving me the timing with Bookmap. So I always say one thing to whoever asks me, what is Bookmap? And I always say is that it's basically like driving on the snow with the snow tires. And then a lot of traders ask me, Jay, is it important to learn the tape or more important to order a flow? For example, yesterday I had a mentoring student, he asked me this. And I always say, well, in trading, you have to learn the tape because, you have to learn a level 2, the routes, the market makers have to, spot. But then I put next to it for an hour of lesson, the level 2, and I recorded the level 2 in times and sales with certain brokers to show him what he could see on the best offer, the best, I always say, bid, and also what he could see in the depth. And he told me this, wow, on Bookmap, I can see, 20 cents away that I have a main support. So the main support we saw on the daily chart is confirmed by, for example, let's say this. On your level 2, you cannot see this until we don't go over there. And sometimes you will see hidden orders. So unless you stay there and stare at the times and sales, you won't see this. While Bookmap is just like, a easier way to do it. Now, you trade one stock, doesn't matter. But if you are like me, that you're trading multiple assets, you're looking at multiple stocks at the same time, trust me, when you take 2 or 3 tape and you stare at them for hours, your mind is going to be fried if you start on Monday by Tuesday. You're not going to make it until Wednesday. With this kind of software, I can look at 8, 10 charts, feel good. I just need, to look at 1 second. I know what's going on or what went for the last 2 hours or 4 hours. If now I will come over here late at 10:40, a lot of traders that I know, that I talk to, even on socials, they're not full-time traders, okay? They're like part-time traders. So they ask me, Jay, I can only trade from 11 o'clock. And I say, you come over here at 10:45, what can you see? We start looking at our chart. Of course, you have to have a strategy, a game plan. And then you're looking over here, okay, we have this daily resistance. You start looking at the past, what the stock did. Did it ran? Did it fail to when it ran to a specific pattern? And then you see over here what? Okay, I have this rejection over here, this possible rejection level. 2 times, actually 3, we already rejected from there. So you know that if you come 11 o'clock, this will be your only trade that you have to look for. You're going to have a 3, 4, 5 cents risk. And trust me, you're going to have at least 3 or 4 hour return. Even with a 40% win rate, trading a system like this, you'll make money. And that's the main point, okay? And this morning, I was with a few guys and gals talking about the stocks that we had. We had IMRA. IMRA, as I said, is not an easy fader. Yes, we had a big rejection, but you can see it's still holding by 10:30. Until this main 175 fake breakout or 180, I'm not going to touch it because it's my rules. Then we had over here CDU. CDU, no words, just simply faded from the morning top over there. And we started shorting this area over here between 420 and 410. My alert came 423. What happened on this? Fader, sellers, no buyers, just hold it. And then we had BIVI. This was a pre-market fader. So you had to be online around 6:30 to start making a plan on this because this is 7, found the top, main target over here. So we had 3 stocks that literally gave us the easiest setup that you can trade. So you asked me how you can make money. This, Bruce, this. So this morning when I was trading this, I even posted a screenshot on Bookmap to show you that I was doing that in real time, and I shared all my charts. This was the exact timing that we started to look for the fill. First, I short over here, I stopped 5 cents, anticipating that move. And then I shorted this and I took like 1.20, now maybe 1.30 buck per share. Of course, I scale out partially during the fill. So if we have other stocks during the day, I'm not really interested in trading them. We already had our plan. It's 10:40, day is done. But of course, if you're a trader that trades only midday or comes, in the afternoon, you'll need to look for other patterns, which I trade. And what I use a game plan, so a strategy. Of course, you need also risk management because you cannot simply trade every single stock, different dollar price, different stop losses size with the same size. Okay, so same number of shares. Of course, we'll risk 10 cents. I'm going to load, let's say, 20,000 shares. I'm going to risk 50 cents. I'm going to use maybe like 2,000 shares. Okay, I'm just making an example like that. So this is part of risk management. Then the last thing, you need the timing of execution. And what I use Bookmap is for this. Okay. And this again, I don't give a damn about commercial and all this stuff really. For me, it's just like stupid. But that's what I'm using it. That's what I see 6 and 7 figure traders in my room are using it. And why? Because it's reliable. Because it's on point. Because it gives me a low risk. The point over here to see this as a main entry. And what is a main entry? When we have rejection, you start seeing sellers. Why? Because it's also a strategy that I teach. So I short 172, 173, 171. My risk is 175, so between 3 and 6 cents. And I know that my main target in this case was the 150. All right, I'm only risking, let's say, an R, and I'm ordered to make between 2 and 4 R return. That's the point of all of this. Gives you very low risk entry points, low risk exit points, in order to have multiple R return. It's all this, repeating this with self-control, discipline over time. Bruce, is it clear the process?
Absolutely. I mean, I just want to mention, like, I mean, you come up with so many, you have many different strategies, and then you go to Bookmap to look for the timing and to understand what's going on in the order flow as kind of the final element. I've mentioned it for years. I mean, for example, maybe you're a fundamental trader. You can look at your fundamental like analysis, then just simply look at Bookmap. It's like, when is that in line? When is the tape or the order flow in line with your fundamental analysis? That's a strategy right there. Yeah, you're basically kind of doing the same thing with your quantitative data. And you have your moving averages, you have your pullbacks to moving averages, your faders, etc. But then finally, you're looking at the final mile here of when to get in, when to get out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I
Exactly.
love it. It's great stuff, Joseph.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So let's go check now the big caps. Also, we have ISEE, which is really a stock that I don't want to say I predicted, otherwise, it seemed like I'm so cocky. But the point is, I apply the strategy, just this. Bruce knows me. This is 9:30. First dip into the J-lines, we start pushing. Yesterday, we had this long pattern. This is let me see over here. This was an example of how to take, I think it was this, yeah, how to take the long. So looking for that long over here. And what I like about ISE is the liquidity. It is really the liquidity. Yesterday it traded like millions of volume. We had a push from the open from $12 until 16. So in about a few hours, this went up $4 per share. And this morning we see a consolidation. So we can make a support over here. Okay, this is the previous high. You can see over here that is a level where we rejected, right? 14.20. And this morning we dipped. Actually, we had a fake breakdown that 14.20 and then started like bouncing. At the same time, what do we have? We have our trend line. Okay. So we're looking at the bigger picture over here. We're looking at the pattern. So what I'm going to trade over here, my plan this morning was clear. Or I'm looking for dips to long, or I'm looking for this 1570, 16, sorry, too short. I didn't long. I missed this opportunity. This is a beautiful fake washout. I saw already over here this morning this, so I would like to show you how to trade that washout. So if Bruce knows, he knows actually. I trade, for example, on big caps a pattern that is called under-over. That is basically this. I have to be very honest, Smash the Bid helped me so much in finding and perfecting this. My friend Smash the Bid, so huge prop to him. I always recognize, we give to Caesar what is to Caesar. So he helped me very much in defining over here this pattern. And you can see also over here the huge amount of buyers stepping in from this dip. And that dip is the previous day high. Okay. So come in over here and look that push, that huge amount of volatility over here, because in about traders really few minutes, 3 minutes, we go up over here like $1 per share. And now it's what? It's consolidating. So I'm not really looking to trade this inside this range. I just need to wait. Will be probably choppy, or we're waiting over here, as I said, for that 1570, 16, because it's the previous day resistance. So we could be looking for a main push to that area, or again, I'm looking for this level of here to get a bounce long. Okay, I'm just staying for those levels over here. Let me see over here. Yeah, this is it's not my trade, but it's a very good example of, for example, scalping it. This is ISEE. And in this case, this trader shorted over here the rejection is 1530, which is also, Bruce, you can see this level over here of trend line. And also over here, this is the level. We can see exhaustion. I generally like to see more, I would say, or a breach into the resistance, so into the heat map, or a heavy seller just above. But over here, the execution of the trader was perfect. The trend line was there. Sellers came over here. Not a lot of liquidity on this push. So chapeau, chapeau. Also over here, I believe this was a nice sweep pattern. So break down the support boom wash, bounce, reject, and another wash. I didn't trade personally this morning, so I'm still waiting. Let's start look at Tesla. This morning, my plan was Amazon, Tesla, Meta, wait for a breakdown, and then looking for a short. Tesla didn't give that. And instead, we had a bounce on that trend line. So for now, I'm simply waiting. Amazon is still inside this range. So we can put over here a 50-minute chart. And we can see what I was watching. I'm looking for a break of this trend line and fail. In a range, no trade for me. Okay, I'm not shorting here, covering here. I'm not buying here, selling here. I want to see a breakdown, retest, and then short. So very specific analysis and pattern. I like this morning Meta. Meta had a beautiful breakdown. It's not really starting to trend. For now, I would like to see more like a contraction of here, the pattern, and then looking to short over here and looking for that breakdown. So what we can do, we can put up here, Meta. And we can see for a possible pattern. By the way, you see what happens when you start watching something else. IMRA. Let's go back to a 1-minute chart. Not a beautiful setup short over here. So push again to this level of resistance 170, 175, break, and then started to fill. I'm not short on this, so I'm waiting. I'm just holding CDU and holding over here the other small positions. So we're gonna continue to follow IMRA. We're gonna continue to follow over here CDU. We're gonna continue to follow Meta. And we're gonna look also for intraday scanners. So if we're gonna have another, I would say, few other stocks that run. For now, the main gapper this morning is IMRA for 34%. But rather than this, all the plays that we started trading already faded. Okay, so we have to wait. I don't see nothing else at the moment. So we had also QNRX was an extension this morning. I took a few scalps out of that, and it was easy to borrow many platforms. Nothing that I'm really interested in trading right now. I'm talking about QNRX. BIVI is still unwinding. Right now it's 350. It started to unwind from that 480 top. We could see even 330 or 3 today. See it was sideways. It's holding this level of 330, 325. So just patience over here on IMRA. I'm not sure right now. If you shorted, hold it. Why also? Sellers. Every single time we get in that spot 170, 175, we see sellers here, here, here. Very simple, very easy. It's like price exhausts the demand above 170, and we have radically more sellers jumping in. Meta, we have to follow this today. There's no doubt. I think it's the most interesting stock. If yes, we'll start unwinding. Now we are creating this distribution pattern over here. And we'll be interested in shorting this today. As I said, only if we break this trend line and we start looking for pops. Okay, so I want to see a trend line break over here. Rather than that, no trade for me on Meta. We had a setup this morning, but I didn't take it personally. A plus setup. You see the price is stalling to this high liquidity 157.80, 158, where previously around 10:30 we had this rejection. Watching for a possible rejection in this area. This we don't need anymore. 158. Sellers over here joining. Just like before, we topped into that 158 here over here. Let's see if we can have a stall of the move exactly here. So shorting with very minimal risk and then taking the fail. For now, we're still the front side of the move. You can see that each bar is making a higher low. The spike means that at this top, we had sellers joining in. Price is still holding. Let's see if we can get the 158. Cedar is bouncing over here, traders. So we have a short around 415 on CDU. They removed over here the main resistance. We're gonna be looking if we can get a pop into this 358, 360 to recycle some shorts. That's a good intraday area. It's normal this time. We have the liquidity slowing down. A lot of these CDU, BIVI, already main faders. Even here in RX, we had an extension, then it started to fail. What I like now is this 360 resistance. So we're going to look for 357, 358, re-add, too short, on Sidu. So once we have a first entry that was this level here this morning, then of course we have always to consider how much we're scaling out. And then when we add what is going to be the new average and the last target.
Joseph, I still can't get over that statistic that you found on the gappers.
Yeah,
That's
it's not every month is like this, Bruce, but August was simply crazy, simply crazy. So August we had so many faders, and also let's see for how much we extended. So I can share over here the process is very simple. I mean, it's not that super simple. We can backtest it with so many factors, but we can take a look over here. You know, I put over here the last 30 days, maximum $50 stocks, at least 20%. We can put even 25. Let's keep it just 22%. And then we can calculate over here our stats. Oh, sorry, I didn't do it over here. Oh, last 30 days, perfect. Apply. Yeah, we had about 74%. So in the month of August, actually the last 30 days, pardon, 57 faders, 20 stocks that extended. The maximum, sorry, my bad. The maximum extension average was 19%. And high of day time was generally the first 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Average gap 38%.
wow,
Average
really?
market volume 7 million. Tell me, Bruce.
Wow, 38%, and then and only 7 million in volume. I'm just kind of curious, Joseph. I mean, these numbers, like to me, like do you kind of wrap kind of a viewpoint around that? That a lot of these companies that aren't making much money, but they're kind of scrambling, seeing that the market's going down, so they're going to just try to gap it, and then try to gain as much as they can before the market in general starts to go down.
Yeah, we can filter, and this is a very good point, per institutional, per short float for so many things. So what I like is generally Bruce looking for what is the average of percentage of unwind for all these companies. And what I do is I just click on the price over here. Sorry, I just click over here on the stock. I go check those days. I do a little bit of research because I want to know what happened intraday. That gives me an edge. That gives me an edge. Otherwise, trading, not knowing, if we have in this time of the year, in this cycle, more bullish stocks or bearish stocks, it's very hard. It's like trying to long Tesla if we are below certain supports, always below the VWAP, fading on a hourly and 4-hour chart. I mean, you will have so many stop losses. So you have to understand which cycle we are in. Bullish, bearish, sideways, volume, liquidity that we have, pre-market volume, and also float. All these things together give me, I would say, an edge when I trade. Of course, it's an edge. Doesn't mean because I have those stats, I will start shorting. No, I need then, entry point. And that when, the strategy takes, I would say, takes really form.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really, really great stuff, Joseph. In fact, I'm going to mention it now and just kind of float it out there. I don't know if we have time, maybe this month, but maybe next month. Do in the afternoon, East Coast time at least. It could be early afternoon. We could do a workshop, trader workshop, together, and how to build an edge or how to build a trading strategy.
Okay. Okay. That would be perfect, Bruce. I'm in.
Okay. I mean, yeah, just it's just a thought. So anyway, just keep it in mind. Let's
Yeah, give even more, I would say, tips to traders, not only beginners, but also who wants to become a better trader, an advanced trader, because right now this trading is all about statistics and using data.
yeah, and then finding when you have something on the chart, you have the other traders going in that direction, and that's what the order flow is all about.
Exactly. Exactly. What I like this morning, look over here, this, where was on Cedo? Yeah, here. This break of support over here. Once we broke the support, we never reclaimed the VWAP. So these faders that we simply start unwinding with massive sell-off, these are the best stocks for me to trade. Simply you see over here the selling pressure.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the big picture over here. I'm looking at this point, and we'll love to see over here this stall into the 60, recycle of partial, and then looking for more unwind down here. So let's see if we can get this setup formation. That's the reason why I also put the fibs over here. And we're following over here Cedo for this possible add. I think that 360, 365, Bruce, can be a very good area where to recycle short. So we'll see if we're gonna top, if we'll have like confirmation by Bookmap. Is rejecting again from that 360 to 348. I wanted just like a few cents more. Ideally was looking for the fake layer, but over here, actually pretty good rejection. Just into that top 359, was waiting this 360. So not add, not recycle over here. IMRA is starting to bounce. So we're gonna go back 1 second, IMRA. So resistance this morning was around 170, 175. So we can put our levels over here, 175. 170 here is where we saw sellers all morning. I will only short over here if we get to that 170, 175. For now, 160, they found 60,000, 50,000 over here on the bid. Pretty dusty. So no ad for me over here on IMRA, waiting. As the new high of day, 280.70 is also main daily resistance. Okay, MRA finally is pushing. Let's see if we can get a good point of short. So looking at the bigger picture, we have an ascending triangle. And we're doing this pattern over here. So the main point for me would be looking for a short into this 177. We have some heat map over here, 170, and then before 175, 176. So waiting for the 175, 176. Everything before is only to scalp. So you can see traders, they're holding over here the bid. $168. Two points that I'm waiting over here. And I want to see if over here we will increase liquidity 170. If it remained at resistance 175, 176. So no strong buyers for now. No main sellers. Price is stalling. So not taking action over here. No low risk for me entry level. So waiting that 175 would be the best pattern.
Joseph, in YouTube there, someone is asking about maybe Fubo, Fubo.
Cubo.
Yeah, it looks like he's mentioning people are really starting to pump it on Reddit. I'm just very curious to see if we see anything from that.
Okay, let's check over here. 1 second. Fubo. Been trading the stock in the past, so I know how it moves pretty good. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. So we had over here a parabolic move mid-August. Yeah, from a 400% move, faded all the way down. Yeah, for now, I don't see anything. This morning also over here, basically stuff, main rejection on the 4-hour chart. So if it consolidates the next days, we could have another push, but for now, I don't see anything.
Okay, thank you.
So let's go back over here, traders on IMRA. Again, decided to wait for that 175. This is the level of today. These are the levels of today, sorry. So we're gonna do like this. This is a 4-hour chart. So all morning we're testing this 175. Let's also look at CDU. You see we're having finally that sweep just right now, Bruce. Nice breakdown. See the breakdown right here. All right, Bruce, last few minutes. Any questions? Any questions, traders?
No, not in YouTube. And let's jump over to Discord. No, I think we're looking good, Joseph.
Okay, so today we covered management of the positions. IMRA, CDU. We went over BIVI. We went over Meta, Tesla. Also, we look at ISEE. We saw the plan. We saw the stats, how they are important in trading. We saw also how and when to use the timing of Bookmap to take the decision of an entry. The main point is best setups today happened, for example, a short to trade in pre-market or in the first few minutes out of the gate. We saw this month, at least the last 30, 40 days, 3/4 of the stocks fade before 10:20 find a high of day and then fail and become red on the day. The main, I would say, stocks to continue to look for the rest of the day in small cap land are CDU and ISEE and IMRA. Some good movers for the big caps and Tesla. No trade for me today on big caps, so I simply waited. Yesterday, we trade short Meta. And I think that's all for today. Bruce, anything else to add?
No, great session, Joseph. And just keep in the back of your mind maybe some trading workshops in the near future. That'd be great.
All right. So we will organize that, traders. Again, thank you for being with us. Thank you, Bookmap, for every single week to give some amazing content. Put a like, traders. All this is free. Bruce is working a lot, Bookmap as well. So thank you very much. See you next week and take care. Bye bye.